Recruiting of seafarers is a call from a human being to a human being. In this video, that's what we are going to see. Presently, the calls made are from a robot to a human being. We need to convert that to call from a human being to a human being. In this video, we will be providing you guidelines for calling seafarers which will help you achieve this. I have seen a lot of recruiters calling seafarers or candidates for that matter. Even I receive so many calls from the recruiters. How does it sound? Good morning, sir. I have this vacancy. This is the salary. Are you ready to join? What is your availability? What is wrong with the call? This is okay. He's directly coming to the point, giving you all the information, and he's asking you whether you are ready to join or not. Right? Wrong. When you receive a marketing call, how do you feel? It is kind of recruiting. He's selling you a product. In case of recruiting, we are selling the position. How do you feel when a marketing call comes to you and he just says, sir, we have this, are you ready to make or something like that? You want to buy. You get frustrated, right? So it's exactly what is happening with the candidates when you call. There should always be a human touch for the calls. Otherwise, if it is going to be robotics, you can be rest assured all the recruiters will be replaced by robots in another 5 to 10 years. Okay, so we have around 10 to 15 points here which we will go through, and I will explain to you each point, what does it mean and how you can follow this in your recruiting process. The first point, expect to recruit. This is talking about your mindset. How are you going to go into the call? Do you even expect to recruit the seafarer, or you want to complete the calling sheet? In that case, you can be rest assured you need not make that call. The seafarer will not even talk to you. You would have surely experienced this when the marketing guy calls. The way he starts a sentence, what he says immediately puts you off. Or sometimes you want to listen to the call till the end, and maybe you want to engage with the caller. Both the things happen. So now you are in that position. So you ensure your call sounds confident and you can assure the person on the other side that you have something valuable for him. If you don't expect to recruit, if you don't expect to sell the position, or it is not possible for him to take the call. Be aggressive. Have a target for number of calls and try best to achieve it. Okay, you should always have a target of calls to make. I always tell my colleagues when we have a target for recruiting, there is one seafarer whom we are looking for. We have to reach that seafarer. It is not possible that seafarer is not there, right? So company has to run, the ship has to run, the ship will run, the company will run. So the employee will join. So question is how fast you reach that candidate. How will you know that candidate is there? First, the candidate should know there is a requirement for him to approach you. The other way, you have to make so many calls so that you reach the correct candidate. The database is there with all the companies, all the HR consultants. The point is who reaches to the candidate first makes the difference. So recruiting is basically a number game. The number of calls you make will decide how successful you are in recruiting. It is as simple as that. So please ensure you have a target. How will you decide the target? It depends on the rank or position you are looking for. If there is an easy rank, then it is possible that you might reach the correct candidate in maybe 10, 20, 30 calls. If the position you feel is a little difficult in the market, then you might have to make 70, 100, 150, 200, 300 calls to reach the correct candidate. Okay, so ensure you always have a target and follow that diligently and complete the target, and you will surely be able to recruit the correct seafarer. Next point, take notes. This is again part of making the human connection. It shows the importance of the call for the listener, even though he might not know that you are taking notes. The notes need not be very elaborate. It can be the main important point. If I record the important points, you can always get back to it in the next call. The important point doesn't mean only the salary, his availability, etc., etc. But it can also be the human touch points. Like when you called, he was in a PTA meeting in his child's school. He was on a vacation. He was in a hospital where his family or his child was sick. See him as a person and not as the rank which you are looking for. Record this. So when you call him the next time, you can always ask, how is the person who was sick last time? How did the PTA meeting go? How was your vacation? It shows to the seafarer that the call was very important to you, and it also showed that you are concerned about the seafarer or the candidate for that matter. So you convert the robotic call to a human call. That is why I mentioned you should always have a software or at least an Excel sheet where you record the calls. It doesn't matter who calls. Maybe it is not you the next time. You might be looking for some other position the next time, and your colleague is looking after this rank or the designation. So he can also start the conversation where you left off. So gives an impression to the seafarer that the company themselves are very considerate and the pains have been taken to transfer the information from one person to the other person. Okay, have a script. Script is very, very important. You need not have a very long script like what you have in movies or theaters. It could be only the main points, but you need to have them and in sequence. It is better to print out the paper and pin it up in front of you so that you have it in front of you whenever you make the call. It doesn't matter how experienced you are as a recruiter. It is always a good idea to have that pinned up in front of you. It helps you to take to the next point, have the conversation in a precise manner and ensure you get all the information which you are looking for. There are some times where a recruiter calls and we finish the call and after 2 minutes again he calls and he says, sorry sir, I missed out this information, can you give me this information? This doesn't go very well with the recruiter, right? If you are a candidate and somebody calls you, it doesn't seem very good. So you don't make that mistake. Always have a script. Plan for tomorrow. In the recruiter's life, it is not that he is only doing the calling for the period he is in the office or wherever he is calling from. He has other responsibilities too. He might have to make a report. He might have to check documentation. He might have to fill up some forms. There can be many other job responsibilities apart from the calling where the recruiter will have. So if you don't allocate the time specifically for calling, you are not going to make that many calls to reach to the correct candidate. As they say, whatever job you do will always consume the time you have. So if you start a job and you don't have a specific timeline, the other jobs will always consume the calling time. What I suggest, you have to have slots of 1 hour in your working day. And you decide few slots. It need not be continuous, it can be even with a gap. But those slots you need to do only the calling. As I told you before, if you are not doing enough calling, you are not reaching the correct candidate. If you are not reaching the correct candidate, you are not reaching your target for recruitment of the candidate or seafarers. If you are not achieving the target, you are not getting your bonus or you are not getting your increment or the promotion which you are looking for, because the performance is not good. If your performance is not good and your career is not growing, then you are stagnant in the same position for a long time. I'm sure which you are not interested in. So please ensure you always have a slot of 1 hour. You divide the 8 hours, 9 hours you are in the office or the working time into 1 hour slots, or it can be 2 hours or half an hour slots. It all depends on you, but ensure you always follow the time slot and do only that job as per the timetable. Next, be positive. Again, this is the first point which we discussed. You have to go in the call with a positive mindset. It is possible that you have seen the notes written by a previous recruiter that he is already on a higher salary and he is not interested to join us. Then you go with a negative outlook into the call. Okay, so he is not going to join, so let me talk to him. But you always have that in the back of the mind that he will not join us. So what happens? He will not join. The requirements for a candidate, for a seafarer, can be many. The salary is not the only criteria which the seafarer is looking for. It is possible that he needs a shorter contract this time, or very rarely he needs a longer contract this time. It is possible that he needs to carry his family this time. It is possible that he wants to refer somebody and he has a condition that if that person joins, he will also join. There can be many reasons for a seafarer to change the company. So please always go into the call with a very positive attitude. Too many follow-ups. Follow-ups are good. You need to be in touch with the candidate, but too many follow-ups are not good. You get frustrated by regular calls. If you are not giving time for the candidate to think about your offer, how is he going to come back to you? So the best tactic is you always ask him when to call him next, so that he always expects your call and he is ready to take the call. If you are calling him too often without a specific appointment with him, he will get annoyed and he may not join you just because of that. You have to ensure the decision of joining should be from the seafarer's side, and it should not be a decision because you have been pushy and you have coerced the seafarer to join you. Always ensure you don't overdo the follow-up and always follow up only as much as required. Next is seek guidance. There can be situations where you don't have an answer to a question. Always get guidance from your seniors and give the correct information to the seafarer. If you don't have an information, always pause the call, tell the seafarer that you will call him back and then give him the information. Do not give your assumption of what would be the answer to the question. As I told you, you are the front face of the company as you have made the first contact to the seafarer, and he will put a lot of weight on what you say. You have to be very transparent in what you are telling and also the information you give. Any information you give, he later finds out that it was false or misleading, he will back out at the last minute and you will not be able to do anything about it, because he will have a clear reason that you told me this but it is this. Okay, so always be transparent, give the information correctly, promptly to the seafarer, and always, if you don't have the answer, always check back and then give the seafarer or the candidate the correct information. Let us stop here. The video is becoming longer. I still have around 6 points to go. We will make a part 2 of this video and I will discuss the remaining points in the next video. Thank you so much for being with me till here. I am sure you have got something to take back. Please do share this video with all other colleagues who are recruiters whom you feel may benefit. Thank you so much. Take care. Have a nice day. Be safe. Follow COVID behavior always.